Live, we are live. Welcome to the Be Happy Central live show. This is episode 70 Pezulu. Uyangithola mos. Today we are having a music masterclass where we're gonna be touching. We actually will be dissecting what is CMOs, and furthermore what they do, what is their role play, and how they actually assist artists, composers, and also publishers and record labels in making sure that they also do their role play as proactive members. Because in music, to be paid, you need to be paid off your royalties, or just to be paid in general, you need to be very proactive. See recorder and you're not taking up music. And after taking up music, and that's all you do. There's also, going out to go perform when the music is already online in all DSPs, distribution service platforms, like your iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube Music, iHeart Radio. Hey, Baba, there's a lot of distribution service platforms that you can use to distribute your music on a worldwide scale. So you distribute your music unless it's out. After the recording process, after you've mixed and mastered it, it needs to be high quality, obviously, for it to be properly reviewed and accepted by these distribution stores, who are formerly known as music users, because they use music take it out there so that it can be heard. Apologies for that. So after that, obviously the music needs to be heard on a performance level. We understand. That's where you approach promoters. That's where you approach your traditional medias like TV, radio, and also if you are a publisher, that's where you also approach your other music users like filmmakers, so that they're able to play music through documentaries. It can be in a movie, in a series, understand, and all that kind of stuff. So because all when the music is out online, that's when one of the CMOs, or part of the CMOs societies, are able to collect those royalties for you online. And as soon as you perform your music out in the public, one of the societies that I will mention and categorize them, which societies deal with performance rights, which society deals with mechanical, which is online, and which societies deal with like needle time rights, which is more in terms of broadcasting, radio, and also television, and really dissect it properly for you so that you understand. Like I said, performance, this societies that deal, CMOs, collection management organizations that deal with collecting royalties for you through AMA performances, and also needle time, like I said, in terms of radio and broadcasting. The societies or collection management organizations, which is our CMOs, that make sure they collect royalties and they track the amount of time the music has been playing on those broadcasting platforms, which are not online, obviously, which are more traditional, like frequency radios, being the music being broadcasted on television as well, for like a short period of time. I understand, which is needle time, rights. So before we even begin dissecting the CMOs, we're gonna start with the first step. The first step. Let's say you're a recording artist. Let's say you are a recording artist, and let's say you are a record label that's already registered, or wanna be record label, and you don't know how to go about, in terms of registrations and really start off the correct way. Yes, you went to CIPC, which is the first step. Where you register your name, the name of the company, you get your tax, where you get your CK documents to show that you are in business legally, so not illegally, but legally. So that's where you start before you can come to the process that I'm about to mention right now, which is okay, as a record label, and as a composer or a writer or artist as a whole, recording artist as a whole, you go to RISA, which RISA stands for Recording Industry of South Africa. So what they deal with is they deal formally with composers, they deal formally with authors, abantu ababhalayo who lay their vocals on top of a composition, to make the song, complete. So it's like vocalists, rappers, and so forth. I don't want to confuse you. I want you all to understand. And if you are a record label as well, there's a thing called ISRC code. So this code is dissected in two. So there's a code for audio, and there's a code for visuals. And this code is a copyrights that link to your name, because with RISA, that's where you also register your name, so that, for example, my name is Happy LTD. So this will make sure that no one else in the world is using my name, my artist name, but me. So if there's someone out there who's called Happy LTD, then RISA systems will say, which, in America, in Australia, in Zimbabwe, in other parts of the world, there's a person called Happy who is an artist. So why not you rather say Happy South Africa, to give it a unique a unique type of reference, and understand. Give it a unique reference. So in that way, your name is able to contain these two ISRC. It can be a unique copyright, you understand, that will contain these two codes. But these two codes, it's just one code. No, it's two codes, both for audio and visual, which is called ISRC code. And it also applies with record labels. Even them, they need an ISRC code, simply because obviously they'll be assigning, or let me say, rather say, signing up an artist who obviously can't afford recording time, and who just don't know nothing about the music business side of things, and all they have is just talent, and they wanna be under a certain label that has a network, so that they're able to distribute the music, and record labels are able to exploit them and take them to places, so that they become active artists. And you know, like I said, to be active in the music industry, that's where you get paid, right? So I'm a record label. Also, they need the ISRC code because, like I said, for example, since you as an artist, you sign under a record label, that means the record label, you represent a record label whenever you release. Let's say the record label is called Be Happy Music. So whenever you release, the music will be released not on you, but on the Be Happy Music. More especially if you haven't registered with the RISA. So they'll be owning your copyright to your music. You understand? So whenever the music plays online, whenever the music plays on radio, they are using the Be Happy Music ISRC code. Even with a music video, you know, multimedia videos, they oh no, when your music is on a multimedia format, meaning that the audio, it goes hand in hand now with the video. That's where the video code ISRC comes into play. So now EP Happy Music will be also owning the copyright for that. Do you understand? So simply they own you and they own the masters of the music. So that's how this thing works. So if you went to RISA before signing up to a label, that means you have rights to you have I'm a copyright to your own music, you know. So now the record label will be just there to help you distribute the music under your supervision. Do you understand? Without them using the records label's IRC code, rather they use your IRC code because your name will be on the front line. Underneath, it's the record label. And that only happens when the record label didn't provide studio time for you, but you provided studio time for yourself. Do you get it? But if it's vice versa, then that means they own your masters, they own the copyright to your music, which is the copyright coming from the ISRC code. So I hope you understand the part here, RISA. So how to apply on RISA? You simply go to RISA, RISA, .com on Google, and they have membership fees. I'm just checking now how much they have membership fees. If you want to be a member, it will cost you $575 annually, which is per year. They also include VAT in the additional amount, and additionally, if you want to obtain the ISRC code, that one is a one-time fee that will cost you 115 rands one time. So you get both. You get your name registered, and under your name, the SRC code for video and audio will be under your name. So whenever Happy appears, let's say, let me think, on live on this morning live SAPC, you're performing and your name appears there and your music is played and you are registered with RISA, which works hand in hand with the other C.MOs like SAMRO, capasso, sampra. Then, which is the songs registered with those C.MOs, then it's able for the other C.MOs to track that the copyright of the music belongs to you. You understand? So remember, when you register with RISA, the first thing that they check is is your name used by other people across all other places, or is it just you? But when your name is used by other people, it's either you have two options. It's either you change your name to a unique one that's never ever been used, or you just alter it with Happy South Africa. Yeah, well, so that we can see the difference between Happy simply as Happy or Happy South Africa. Do you get my point? So that's how it works. That's how they're able to know it's okay. This music belongs to this copyright name, which is Happy, that contains this ISRC codes. Yeah, I understand. Both for audio and visual. So yeah, that's where we're gonna start. Then secondly, we're gonna go for capasso, which stands for Composer, Authors and Publishers Association. Capasso deals with mechanical rights. Capasso deals with mechanical rights, meaning that it deals with streams, download, ringtones, if your music has been synced in, let's just say, if your music has been synced on cinemas, but online, on documentaries, online, can be YouTube, it can be Netflix, you know, it can be Showmax, watching Showmax on your on your, which is an online platform. I mean, yeah, man, all the streaming platforms, you know, that are there out there. So capasso deals with collecting those royalties for you, simply if you have registered with them. So before I dissect it further, to register with capasso, you just go to your Google and search for capasso, CAPASSO, capasso. .com or .co.za. Everything, the results will appear there, and just enter the website and register yourself there. So so they deal with registering composers, artists, and publishers. You know, if you want to be a publisher, let's say you've done registering with CIPC, you have your CK documents online, your tax clearance from SARS, and you have created your what's this, your you have like banking details for your business. That means it has tax and tax number, you know. Otherwise you get that from SARS, but they work hand in hand with the bank. They don't need certain letter documents from the bank for you to properly apply and get your tax and your VAT and all that kind of stuff. So if you have those in line, so now you're able to go to the likes of capasso, to the collection management organization that is called capasso, Composer, Author and Publisher Association. All they need from you is a 250 annual fee, so that you are able to register as a publisher, a legitimate publisher. That's when you can say, okay, now I'm in business after registering with CIPC. Okay, now I'm a publisher because I've registered with capasso. You understand? So that you're able to collect your mechanical earnings. That is capasso having to collect it for you, and they're able to send you like a spreadsheet, because this is how much you've made for the year, this, that, for this songs that you have registered, for that song, which also contain, when you register, an ISRC code. As you register, you need to jot down that ISRC code, and you only registered songs that are already published. Hence why they're dealing with publishing companies, and they deal with composers and authors who or have already published their work. Their work. So a song in the world of publishing, a song in the world of music is called a work. So I'm gonna use the concept work. So I hope you all understand me. So for an author composer to register, for author and composer to register, they need to have a fee, 100 rand fee. That is also that is also paid annually. You know, that is also sorry that was a call. That is also paid annually. Do you understand? Same as publishers. For publishers, 250, and for artists, composers, or let me say composers, authors, you know, like I said, I'm an author, are your vocalist, your rappers, people who write the song, young are considered as authors in the music industry, and composers are considered as your beat makers, formerly known as producers, which is producers are something else when it comes to the definition into the music. Producers are more of they assess the supervision of the recording process. You understand? And making sure that the beat maker, the phonogram producer is the beat maker. A phonogram is a beat in the language of music business. You know, so I wanted you to understand that part, but I'm gonna do another masterclass in terms of how words are used in music, you know, so that this confusion of calling a beat maker a producer, simply a producer, should stop. You know, they are phonogram producer. Then a producer is someone who supervises, who adds supervision to the whole recording process, making sure that the arranger is there, the phonogram producer is there, the featured artists are there, and they're well accommodated. Just the recording process is smooth. You understand? And if there is any bit of faulty detailing in the recording process, maybe one of the vocalists is not taking out their voice to the core in which it needs to correlate with the beat and the tune of the beat and all that kind of stuff. That's the producer's work to supervise that and tell them, yo, please add this and add that. Go high on this note, go low on this note. You know, so that your vocal and the beat are in tune. And also there's like an engineer to assess the whole recording process, making sure that everything is now in terms of the recording. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, publishers 250 to register, and 100 rand for authors or composers to register with capasso. So capasso deals with digital music licensing. I'm gonna read this out. So in terms of digital music licensing, is the process of licensing the use of copyrighted music in a digital format. Remember, mechanical, they deal with digital and online music. That's where they enter capasso. They collect royalties from downloads, streams, and all that kind of stuff. It is intended to ensure that the copyright owners on musical works are compensated for certain uses of their work. Capasso's digital licensors cater for all current and future forms of service types such as downloads, ringtones, streaming, video on demand, and online radio. Its partnership with the South African Music Rights Organization, which is C.MO, accompanied by its established Beam and BISAC membership, truly makes it a convenient and efficient hub for digital licensing across the African continent. So after here, I'm going to touch on C.MO that deals with performance rights, Then I'm gonna also touch on sampra. Sampra deals with two: it's performance rights and needle time rights. Even with sampra, actually, it also deals with needle time rights, but there's a difference between the two. They do the same thing, but there's something that makes them be apart, not become direct competitors. You understand? Even though they are competing, low key competing, because they deal with the same rights. They deal with administrating performance rights for our artists and producers and record labels. So as you can see, Capasso works with Samro in terms of digital licensing and production music licensing. So production music licensing is it's more formally for users, music users, production houses that want to use music through ads, want to use music through documentaries, want to use music through cinemas in terms of movies, film and production, want to use music for broadcasting on radio, television, and all that kind of stuff. So production music licensing. So Capasso licenses music used on radio, TV, cinema, advertising, films, corporate video, which is ads, corporate videos. Whenever a company has a new product line that they want to advertise, obviously they'll need music, so they'll need production licensing rights. Let's say you, as an artist, you are registered with Capasso. So Capasso is able to help you as a middleman in terms of that whole process. If a big production company like Clover, for example, wants to use their music in their ads, so they need to ask permission through Capasso to you. Do you get the point? And if obviously as an artist developer you're not familiar with such, obviously Capasso will be there to assess the whole process, or the whole process the deal process, in making sure you get your licensing fees the right way or roger. So where was I? Okay. TV, okay, Capasso licenses music used on radio, TV, cinemas, advertising, films, corporate video, production, multimedia, and more. What's more, Capasso has blanket licenses with broadcasters that cover the use of production music in normal TV programming, such as documentary, drama, magazine, programs, and in-house promos. Capasso represents by the largest catalog of production music libraries in South Africa, from Universal Production to Red Iglo, KPM, EMI, Share Publishing, and more. So also, if so here it also deals with broadcasting licensing, meaning that if you are also a music user, for example, like an online radio, you need to sign up with Capasso. You need to sign up with Capasso, actually, because as an online radio you publish music, so you are considered as a publisher as well with Capasso. So you need to sign up with Capasso for you to be a legitimate online radio that will make sure that every artist or every music that's been played on your online radio, the artists are getting their royalties. You're not pirating people's music, because if you haven't signed with Capasso as an online radio, that means you're pirating music, meaning that you artist can earn from your online platform as much as you exploiting their music out there. You're the only one that's gaining. Yeah, I understand that. So There's also production licensing. Music also falls under broadcasting licensing as well. And also if you are like Slicker on Live type of platforms, SoundCloud, which other that is commonly used and it's free. I should forgot about that platform. You also need that licensing, broadcasting license, because your music, whenever an artist release on your platform, that means your platform has a library of music in it, which consists of different music catalogs from different artists who upload their music to your platform, and people are able to get and stream or download their music off your platform. So it's important to really sign up with Capasso if you have such a platform or you want to have such a platform. First steps is to get a production music licensing and to get the pricing in terms of how to license with Capasso. Just go to their website and every information is there, from who Capasso is, from their addresses, cell numbers. If you are confused, you can call them. So as much as I'm having a music masterclass, it's important for you also to do some research about get inclined with really what is mechanical rights, what is performance rights, how can I make use of my rights, because this is our rights as artists to make use of. Hence why it's important to be proactive, so that these rights now are at play. It's our responsibility to actually make use of this right so that we earn. Hence why it's important to be proactive in the music industry for you to earn. So I think we're done with Capasso, which is Composer, Author, and Publisher Association. To register with them as an artist, composer, you need 100 Rand annual fee. And to register as a publisher, you need 250 to register with them. And obviously, you get a portal where you will yourself administrate your registrations of works, which are songs. In the portal, they will require your ISRC code also as a unique code that directs the royalties to you. As you can see, they work hand in hand with RISA as well. So same as RISA, after joining the membership and paying the membership fee for both being a member and getting your ISRC code, which is being a member, costs 575, and getting your once-off getting your IRC code, which is a once-off fee, it will cost you 115 rands. So as soon as you're done with that process with the recording industry of South Africa, which is RISA, NABO, you will have a portal with them so that you're able to register your songs there and all that kind of stuff. And the membership fee, I forgot to mention, the membership fee with RISA, they are able to give you notifications about, membership fees also come with notifications about coming to their workshops. Same applies with Capasso, same also applies with Samro and Sampra, which I'm going to touch later on now. They invite you to their workshop master classes so that you're able to learn more about them, what are the new offerings that they have, and if there's any changes within the amount of time that you need to get your annual royalties, or and knowing that for your royalties to be out, there needs to be a certain threshold that it needs to reach. If let's say for the year you made 2,000 grand, 2,000, and the threshold for Samro or Capasso or Sampra to release your royalties, it needs to be at least 3,500. So don't be surprised when you're getting your spreadsheet via email and there's nothing coming into your bank account. That means that your royalties haven't reached the threshold, like an end amount or a targeted amount for them to be released, which is 3.5, for example. That's an example. So through going through these workshops, you are able to know such information, and it's also a platform for you to stand up, raise your hands, and ask on some of the things that you want clarity from, in terms of the proper registration processes. How does that S.M.O. assigned to do that workshop, how do they actually work? How do you get your spreadsheets? At what point do you get your spreadsheets? And all those kind of things, you understand? So, and also with RISA, they're able to send you invites to the South African Music Awards, because they deal with they're the ones hosting the Summer Awards, South African Music Awards, the Summer Awards. So it's another opportunity to network with prominent artists and non-prominent artists, upcoming artists, in terms of features, nani, just to grow your audience. And or other well-known record label personnels there, that you can, collaborate with. You never know in terms of distribution, whatever. So all I can keep a little 575 annually with RISA, neleyo 115, neleyo 3 as an artist, a capasso, neleyo 250 as a publisher. And on all hlanga. Yeah, well, with capasso now, since you're a publisher and you don't know a lot about publishing, you just started. It's an opportunity for you to just go into their workshops, for you to know more. And what's nice about capasso, you can even send them emails for things that you don't have clarity with, and definitely they'll give you feedback. Yeah, well, like, for example, I had an issue recently of when I registered my latest song, In Love Heals No More Pain, getting the SRC code format right in terms of registering it, because you can write everything, your names, who's earning this, in terms of split royalties, but if the SRC code part is not properly and correct, that's not a full registered processed work, or song. So I had to ask how to type it down properly so that the system doesn't reject my application. You understand? In my portal, my SAMRO portal as a publisher. So yeah, they gave me feedback, and yeah, I'm nice now. So those are some of the benefits of being a member. Because you get feedback, but the workers in all the C.M.Os, if you're a member, they're able to give you feedback, and exclusively so, without the hassle of going there and all those things. If you went to Samro, you know what I'm talking about. If you started, Masakala, trying to figure out, okay, how they work, so it's a whole process, especially when you're there, you wait for hours on the line. It's irritating. But now we're moving to SAMRO, which is the South African Music Association. SAMRO, Rights Association, South African Music Rights Association. So they deal with performance rights, SAMRO. So how you register with SAMRO, just go to SAMRO, I think .co.za or .com. It will appear Google, and just read through there, which is SAMRO, what does SAMRO deal with, how to register. Definitely you get registered with SAMRO online. So with SAMRO now, if you want to be a publisher, you need to also register with SAMRO, because remember, publishers' role is to exploit their assigned artist, which is artists signing up to exploit them, making sure that they earn in terms of when their music is performed on a public stage, on a concert. The music is when their music is played on television, can be through a performance, maybe on Morning Live, for example, on SABC. Now they perform Alapayama, you know, or while you, and also while maybe like interviewer, your music is being synced as you are talking. We understand through from your performance, yeah, because they do that. So a publisher is there to make sure that you earn from that, and you know, can be through cinemas. You know, music is played through cinemas. Music is played after a show on Generation, say a or during the show Generation, maybe at a certain scene, music got color for like 2 seconds. Yeah, I understand. So that is part of publishing exploitation. Mabati, a publisher exploits an artist. Those are part of a nutshell of it. So SAMRO, that's where SAMRO enters. So a SAMRO deals with registering a composer and authors, and deals with registering also publishers. Yeah, so Nase SAMRO, after having to register your catalog there, and they are happy, obviously they'll give you a letter via email or physically, depending how you registered. Because now you can even set up an appointment. You have an option if you want to register online or set up an appointment on a face-to-face basis, going there SAMRO and talk with the consultant. I saw when I was doing my research, which now you can do that. And yeah, man, they do performances in SAMRO. That's where you are. Let's say you have registered with SAMRO, now you have your portal. That's where they deal with song titles, who the split shares between composer and author, obviously. By law, if Nitu, as a beat maker and as an artist, author, the one who wrote the song, it's a 50-50 split, because every umuntu ufake a 50% effort in terms of writing. That's where you entered. And Dwana with the beats, the phonogram producer, na efake 50% effort nyana. So when ihlanganisa makes it 100. So now already that's a split of royalties between the composer and the author. Yeah, I understand. So yeah, so SAMRO, how it actually tracks your in terms of collecting your royalties from let's say you performed at Back to the City, and you notified them. Let's say you were featured in a song with McLaren. Yeah, I understand. And McLaren now will use the SAMRO portal to register the song, right? And he will say you are the feature to the song. That's where SAMRO, through a thing called IPI number, that's where SAMRO is able to track those things, and the amount will appear on your portal, and the tracking in which where the money comes from features, from performing it Back to the City, because they go collect there maybe, and also let's say you had a music launch. A music launch at Badela restaurant, or let's say Sakum's restaurant. You had a music launch that you were performing your new music, and you did notify SAMRO about the live performance in your portal. And obviously now what they do is they need to be like contracts to as a black and white evidence, which for real this guy did perform, Muhebi did perform a Sakum's restaurant or a Patela restaurant, I understand. So that when they go collect your royalties by Badela or Sakums, they show the evidence. Hey, at this time, here's the agreement that was issued between Uhepi and the owner or the manager of Badela or Sakumzi. Yabo, with untwana wa performer ngeli date kanje and kule venue. Because restaurants are also considered in terms of SAMRO, also considered as music users, such as also pubs, cinemas, amateksi, nightclubs, DJs are music users, mobile ringtones. Remember how I told you capasso and SAMRO, there's a correlation simply because you saw on the digital part of licensing, it says it works hand in hand with SAMRO. That's the way it enters with a capasso, because remember capasso deals formally with music users also. So cinemas, taxis, nightclubs, DJs, mobile. Remember mobile in terms of ringtones, capasso. You get the drill, right? Video on demand. Video on demand is like your music videos, considered as your music videos. I'm a video on demand. And radio, malls, churches, trains, restaurants, live music on restaurant. Remember my live music. DSPs also on television. So you can also, if you are a music user, also with SAMRO you can also get licensed with that, so that whenever if you're a radio person who owns a radio, whenever you're a person who owns a mall or church, trains, restaurant, DSP has a television broadcast, you have a pub, you own a cinema, you own taxis, nightclubs, you're a DJ, you have a mobile service, and you have like documentaries, a film production that you posted online as a performance. SAMRO also gets in there. Yeah, now as a production house, a broadcaster, as a business, you're able to get a license with SAMRO. So yeah, that's how it works, which is performance rights. So SAMRO also, like I said, sampra and SAMRO, they similar, but the difference is sampra deals with record labels, then SAMRO deals with publishers. Hence why they're able to work hand in hand with capasso. Then sampra works hand in hand with RISA. I understand, but all of them, they all work in hand with RISA, because RISA is the starting point, remember. So now we head into SAMPRA, which is a South African SAMPRA, South African Music Performance Rights Organization. SAMPRA, that's SAMPRA. Let me double check if I'm saying the right thing here. Yeah, it's a South African Music Performance Rights Association, SAMPRA. So SAMPRA deals with music users. So that's if you are a broadcaster or playing sound recordings in public, SAMPRA license is required. Yeah. So let me repeat: if you are a broadcasting or playing sound recordings in public, SAMPRA license is required. So SAMPRA deals with needle time rights, like getting and performance. Yeah, well, needle time in terms of needle time on radio. When you get the needle time on radio for music to be played on radio, that's where you get the spreadsheet with SAMPRA. And also, if you're a music user, you can register with SAMPRA and get a license with SAMPRA. for broadcasters or playing recordings in public. Yeah, well, especially recordings like if you're not a performer. I mean, if you're a performer but not an author, that means you didn't write the music that you are performing. You need to register with sampra so that the owner of the song, let's say you do like the performing artists who do cover songs, live cover songs, if you it's important for you to have a license with sampra in terms of cover songs, because I think as much as it's just a thought, I think as much as in terms of royalty earnings, I think as much as the original writer gets their royalties, now you also get a certain share. Let me say 5%. Yeah, no, for putting effort in terms of performing the song, and they get the rest of the share price for royalties. And again, if you're an author, also, I mean, an author, composer, you can also register in the sampra in terms of your song titles, nanani. Like I said, they work similar with like sampra and sambro are similar in terms of administration, the type of work in terms of administration they do. Yeah, well, they're similar, but the difference is sampra deals with record labels, and sambro deals with publishing companies. Yeah, well, so again, to be a legitimate record label, you need to register with sampra. Let me repeat: to be a legitimate record label, you need to register with sampra, and also you need to register with RISA to be a legitimate record label. And as a publisher, you need to register with capasso, and also you need to register with SAMRO, but not with RISA. Remember, when as a publisher, your job is to work hand in hand with record labels. So record labels come to you with the full library catalog that's been licensed with RISA, that has been copyrighted in RISA and licensed with sampra, for example. They come to you with the songs. Baba, nazi ingoma mfethu, sicela usi-exploitele, uspread, ufake kuma-playlist digitally. Make sure it's being played on radio. Make sure it's also, playing on ads. Make sure it's also being synchronized on cinemas, whenever movies playing on series, Guma series, can be local series, international series. It can be a cover song for the series, or it can be, just played during a dramatic time in a certain scene or whatsoever, just depending. So that's the exploitation. So publishers deal with exploiting artists, and in terms of exploiting, because exploitation is both negative and both positive. In positive in terms of we exploiting you and taking your music to different territories and spreading it across the world so that other people are able to hear it, not just through distribution into the SPs, but also through cinemas, through radio, through television, broadcasting, and all of that kind of stuff. Even on trains, yadlala, kuma-pubs, yadlala, uyangithola. Kuma-taxi yadlala ingoma yakho, yeah, and all that kind of stuff. So that's where the publisher enters, making sure also ukuthi ikhona uma ufonela umuntu kuma-ringtones, noma ufonela umuntu nayakhala inamba yakho before umuntu answera, ikhona, and you're getting paid for it. It's only bad exploitation when the publishers do that, and because you're not familiar with, like I said earlier on, you're not familiar with, the business side of things, and you just came to a record label with, I'm just talented. then that's where the record label and the publisher eat you off, and that's where you get the change. Yeah, I understand, because a record label has licensed, I would say, let's say licensed music. So now they with the publisher they will share licensing fees. Do you get it? So in every in every section, the publisher will exploit the music. As it the music is playing on pubs. That means the record label and the publisher will share those licensing fees for the music to be played on pubs in terms of royalties, licensing fee, royalties. You understand? So guess what? Shoot when you share gule recording licensing fee, since value you don't fully own the copyrights of your own music, you don't fully own the masters of your own music. So that means they'll get more, you get less. And so after some deductions, that includes also advance deductions from hotels and all those things. So it will totally change 10 cents from that money. So that's how exploitate. That's why artists, they say they've been exploited. But if you're an artist who did register with RISA and recorded their own music, created their own studio time, paid off for their music, and went to Be Happy Music Records, yo, this is my music, please take it to different places. Us as Be Happy Music Records, we know we have sub-publishing, we have a publishing deal with Sony Music. We take that music, give it to Sony Music, we do the split shares in terms of licensing. But what's nice there, since Vele, you are in charge of your masters, your copyright. Us as Be Happy Music, we need to consult with you. And there's even high chances that you're going to be part of the meeting. Whenever we discussing in the Sony Music, for example. Yeah, well, it's okay. This is the artist. This is how the artist would like us to charge for licensing fees. This is the amount of what the artist wants to get on behalf of the music being exploited in these different platforms and that kind of stuff. So you have more advantage. So your music is exploited in a positive way, whereby you are earning more than the publisher itself, more than the record label itself, or it can be an equal share, just depending. Yeah, so that's how it works. I hope it was an educational master class, the class of 2025. Thank you. And yeah, man, we almost spoke for an hour. This is the Be Happy Central live show, episode 7 episode. And then I see the flu, but it was a Kobega. We are live. This is also an educational platform. We are here to inspire you. We're here to make sure that our salele move, you are aware, but not just aware, but also enlightened on how to move correctly when you are a musician. And as we go, we're going to also be touching on other aspects, and so like it can be on someone who has had bad experiences in terms of online dating. We touch on that, and also spirituality. This is just a versatile show. Yeah. So we're not just sticking on music. I'm just talking about music because that's my faculty, I'm there. Then we're going to talk about entrepreneurship as well as we go. Then for part 2, I think we need to touch on word jargons words that are used in the profession of music. Like I said, a producer is not what you think. A producer is someone who supervises the whole recording process. Then there's a phenogram producer. The one that you think is the phenogram producer. Phenogram meaning the original work that's been started from scratch in terms of beat, I understand the beat maker is called a phonogram producer in business terms, or in the terms used in business language in music. So sometimes knowing, not sometimes, knowing how the business side of music works is also knowing which words to use, fluently, so that you're able to comprehend in meetings and board meetings, and really understand, what's going on. Don't be confused. Yeah, well. And also going back to understanding CMOs, how they work, knowing the wording of the usage of words in the music business. If you know it, it's easy for you to understand how they work. I'm a CMOs, and understand it through licensing and all that we spoke about today. So yeah, CMOs are collection management organizations. They are in charge in terms of collecting royalties, royalties to each member assigned with them. Can be as artists, can be as publishers, it can be as record labels, can be as composers, or authors, yeah, or performer, or recording artist. Because this thing's differ, man. Khona umuntu oyi-performer but doesn't write his own music. Khona umuntu obhala music but can't perform it. Do you get it? Or khona umuntu obhala music is not good in terms of recording. So we need to have a specific recording artist, like abo TKZ. TKZ was a recording artist. He bekangabhala music wakhe. Yeah, but if you can check my interviews with DJ Cleo based on TKZ. No, not TKZ, man. What's your one? No, it's not TKZ. Hey, Pascom Tools Guelanga. Hey, Simplement Abangan Bam. Apparently, that song was written by Demystified. Imagine. So, that artist in Koshim Kamalankuban. So, that artist was a recording artist, even though he was big and he sang that music like he was the one who wrote it, but so we were party most of the song. So yeah, man, I hope the masterclass was good and educational. My name is Happy with the V, because we are high visual, passionate people, and yeah, we are high visual, passionate people, and yeah, so be happy, so be happy, so be happy. This is the Be Happy Central live show, episode 7, episode 8, clever. Douglas, thank you. So next week on Saturday, same time, we'll be having episode 8. I think I already closed off the deal of the guest that we're gonna have. So we will have just a different guest in jail. It will be a low-key, another masterclass, but it will be an interview, like the ones we previously hosted from episode 1 till episode 6. So I wanted today to just give you a different feel, just to diversify the show. We are just not bringing in guests to tell their story, share their testimonies, but it's also an educational platform that you can reference from and come back to get some pointers there and there and understand on how you need to move in terms of music and other topics that we're gonna touch on as we go. My masterclass. So yeah, man, thank you for watching. If you haven't followed us, please do follow us at all our platforms. That is at Be Happy Central Broadcast and at Happy_World. It's Happy with the V, because the V stands for peace. We out, nigga.